We just got somebody sending us in an email saying, I thought these Crown corporations were all stacked, the boards of these corporations were all stacked with political loyalists to the government of the day as a reward for doing good deeds for that party somewhere along the way. Is that, in fact, the perception in the private sector of who staffs these boards?
Well, my colleague over here, David, is saying, yes, that's in fact what is happening.
I shouldn't say anything, but I actually not.
Smiling. I think there certainly is a perception that many of these boards are filled with people who have relatively little experience, certainly with the business of the agency, and that many of them are there for political reasons. On the other hand, I think there are examples of boards that have people on them who do have legitimate business experience or experience in that industry, and that's a very positive.
Just to give you an example, the Premier of British Columbia, the government of BC has said, listen, we want a completely competency-based recruitment and appointment process for all boards, Crown boards in our province. Saskatchewan is another province where they're actually saying we're going to hold, and Saskatchewan, for example, is holding itself responsible for the OSC guidelines for its Crown boards. So I think that the irony is that you should hold you can't throw stones if you live in a glass house. You should hold yourself responsible for what you're.
You can have competency guidelines. At the same time, don't forget, there's going to be a lot of people who are competent to these jobs.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Who made them.
They can be
Absolutely, but they should actually be.
I think that there is a lot more competency in the appointments than there used to be 20, 30 years ago, honestly. You know, you do look at people's, because you know what, because they're subject to, the appointments are subject to a committee of the legislature, which is stacked with opposition members who will then, they really put the people to the hot seat. It is true.
Yeah, but I was going to say that I don't want to pick on all of the people on these boards because of the fact that many of them are competent, and we shouldn't criticize them because they have political loyalties either. It's the competency that's the issue. It's not whether or not they have a political loyalty.
I'm going to presume upon our 25-year friendship here to ask, this is not an academic discussion for you, this is a personal discussion.
Sure.
In that green room right now sits your wife watching
Right.
this show. She's on an agency of an Ontario government, right?
That's right.
She's on the board of Trillium?
Trillium.
Which gives out, what, $1 billion a year to worthy...
No.
How much? 100 million?
100
million. Sorry, overdid. I always exaggerate everything by a factor of 10 to make it sound better. How'd she get the job?
She was chosen and appointed, and I'm sure that her name came up through a process. But it's interesting that when she's been on the board of that agency and she's been on now for 2 terms of the agency, she's a very religiously active woman in terms of bringing her skills and expertise with the areas of expertise that she has as a registered psychologist and also a certified management consultant. And she does have the qualifications to be on the board. So
We all know that, and I wanted to give you a chance to say that.
And now we're getting personal.